for a bit too long. I think we missed our cue, but that's okay.
We did miss our cue.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's Fragadelphia Day 2. We are here for more V-Stream action. My name is Not Really Evan, joined by Floofy's on the couch yet again.
Yes.
If you were watching yesterday, you got to hang out with us for most of the start of the day. I think it's going to be pretty similar today. I think the first game looking pretty exciting, though.
Yeah, we got Tsunami versus Novum. So we're down in the losers bracket to start off the morning because we got all of our 2-0 teams figured out. So we've got basically our top 16. Now we're going to figure out who's going to be joining them and figure out how we're getting into the top 8 for day 3. So day 2, starting off, it's a little bit slower, though not too slow. Novum went yesterday, and so did Tsunami. Let's get the bracket real quick so we can see where they each came from, because I don't have it memorized. So, go away, ads.
So true.
So, looks like Tsunami beat Crodes and then lost to Fluxo. And I know that Novum lost initially to Chicken Coop. That was actually a really close game. That went the distance.
It was.
And then they beat Vin Lision. So, 1-1. Novum did beat Senders in the lower bracket. Sent them home pretty early. Senders... The scene is propped up by teams that are probably not going to win, but show up to go 0-2 anyway. So, honestly, if you're Senders, good on you for coming out and participating. I hope you guys stick around for the Small L tournament. And even if you don't stick around for the Small L, I think that, even if you stick around and hang out and watch, there's still fun stuff going on. Right? At Frag 18, there was a dodgeball tournament, there was basketball, there was a whole bunch of extra little side events. So you never know what else there's going to be. The numbered frags are all sorts of things.
Well, and the other thing, too, we really were talking about this yesterday, is just the overall experience at LAN, right? It's so different than playing in, an online tournament. It's you get such, it's the energy is so different. And I hear we are getting our vetoes right now.
Yep, I heard Mirage is a first veto, so I'm always down to not have to worry about the desert maps. Oh, wait, Mirage Inferno Ancient.
All right, there we go.
Never mind.
Take back what he said.
My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. But whose day might not be ruined is either Tsunami or Novum. It's hard to tell who's going to be the upper hand in this. Tsunami are a team that are ECL capable, and Novum, I've heard from Advanced, is kind of... No, I said that. They're ECL capable. They haven't played in ECL yet. Novum, though, I've heard the name within Advanced, but I don't think they've made playoffs. Or at least if they have, I'm not familiar with them. So there's that level gap to consider. And then there's also the level gap of Tsunami bringing in some old heads as well. I think Stamina coming in is going to be a big deal for Tsunami. However, we're going to dive right into it. So we've got ourselves Novum's map pick of Mirage. Lead us in.
Like you said, I think you really teed it up well. We got two teams that certainly have higher ceiling capabilities. So it's going to be interesting to see, now that they're meeting in the lower bracket, backs against the wall. This really is where the best type of competition is bred. Good start for Novum, though. 2 picks right off the rip. Those dualies not getting anything done. Bomb getting planted on B. Let's see if Tsunami has anything to counter with. Not looking good, though. You got Cajun at 11 health, and then 2 others.
The other thing is they've lost their kit already, so that's going to have to be picked back up if they want to have a good chance at retaking this, but they're losing bodies all over the shop. It's Cajun with 11 HP in the 1 versus 4, and I don't think this one's going to happen. He's kind of biding his time on Cat, looking for the exit frags. A thing that I'm going to continue to bang on about is the extra money that you can get from any kill on a T player. But Cajun decides to play for his life. He does have full armor. So holding on to that, he looks like he's just been gushed. Oh, never mind. Not even going to save the armor.
Yeah, unfortunate for Cajun there, not able to save himself. He got spotted out sort of while he was trying to hang out on the side. So I think that was sort of a death sentence for him right there. But good start for Novum. I think this is what they're looking for. You just want to make sure that your lower bracket games are clean. First one of the day as well. Shake the rust off from yesterday. Try and make sure that you keep your momentum that you gained, from yesterday. And again, though, like we said, this is lower bracket, so loser of this game is going home. That would be the end of their tournament.
So the nice thing about Frag is no one has to go home immediately, right? There are certain tournaments where if you lose, you go home, you forget about it. This one, you lose, you stick around because there's other tournaments to play in. You gotta stick around for the side events. There's a lot of fun stuff. But what's interesting about this play is, wow, this force buy working out for Tsunami. The clap 3, Vine able to grab one back, but it's not really working out. It's just Kermie left alone in the 1 versus 3, and this force buy goes perfectly for Tsunami.
Yeah, really good response as well. I'm sorry to sort of cut you off there. Like, who would have thought Poseidon coming in with the scout was actually going to do some damage there? Like you said, the force buy really coming into play there. Tsunami even to back up.
Hey, real Tsunami knowers know ball, and they know that Poseidon is going to be a frightening player. Yeah, so, okay, going back. You lose this. You could go home, but you've got your hotel or your Airbnb, or since we're on a college campus, you could be staying in one of the dorms for the rest of the weekend anyway. So you may as well either stick around for the side events, or you may as well stick around to just hang out and see other people. And I think that's something that's going to be really nice about Frag. It's like, yeah, you're going to be out of the main event, but
there's always something.
There's always something.
There's always something. So yeah, please, whatever team loses this series, please don't go home yet. We'd love to see you stick around. Play in the small L tournament or the big L, whichever one you prefer.
Well, the small L starts today, and if you aren't here now, you're not in it. So at this point, if you lose this, then maybe you come back tomorrow for the big L. But yeah, I was just talking about the scout, and Poseidon decides to drop it. I mean, you're playing mid. You probably do want the M4. It's only pistols on the side of Novum, so they're going to have to be quick on these shots if they want to convert this round. Tsunami putting down a lot of mid pressure. They're going to get punished. 1-for-1 trades right off the bat. And losing these rifles is not going to be a comfortable spot to be. Poseidon unable to connect the shots. Stamina looking to trade out his teammate, but no. Oh, and Kermie going to make his way on up through apartments as well. He doesn't have the bomb, but he's going to be able to scout and work his way through the site and call out, hey, markets is empty. Site's empty. He's going to start to narrow down the number of positions that Tsunami can be in. They knew that there was a player cat. Where can the next player be? Well, they're about to find out. A Stamina falls in market.
Yeah, Tsunami's got to be careful here. I mean, and look at this. It's now only drop in the 3v1. So Novum, in what looked like a round they were sort of, already dead to rights, they're going to come out of that pistol round, and they're going to take a win from that. Try and get some rifles. Vine stealing that FAMAS on his way out. Definitely going to profit there. But yeah, Novum respond in kind. Very good job from them.
That is going to feel uncomfortable. But you love to see the momentum switching sides like this. We're going to have a nice knockdown, drag-out game. None of those super stompy things that we saw last. So
yeah, we had rough games on the B stream to start yesterday. So a 13-0, a 13-2, and yeah, just nothing super competitive, super interesting. But day 2, like I said, this is really where things are going to start getting a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, and we see, so force buy again. So the force buy war is fully in effect here. Tsunami bringing out the pistols, the MP9s, the M4 Stamina with plenty of money. So we'll have to see if those come into effect. There's 2 players up ramp here. And this MP9 looking to get something cheeky, but it is going to be punished. The rifle's doing a bit too much. Tsunami, they lose 3. And now Novum, with a good opportunity on the A-bomb site, is just Cajun here with the Deagle, but he's taken care of. And I think Novum have finally found themselves 2 in a row.
Yeah, Novum have really started to wake up here. I've been really impressed how they responded after dropping that second round here. And it puts Tsunami in a difficult situation as well, because, you talk about the bonuses you get as a CT for getting kills in a round. So far, every member of Novum still up right now, unless Poseidon has a miracle, a godlike miracle left in the tank. That's going to be a really tough situation coming out of this round for Tsunami. It's going to let Novum get a really good chance to start snowballing a little bit. But, of course, as I say that, Poseidon finds 2. Going to get a little bit of a bonus there. It does eventually get taken out, but...
Valve nerfed the MP9. Did somebody tell Poseidon? Because apparently it works just fine.
What did you say? You said real Tsunami ball knowers know that Poseidon is a force to be reckoned with.
It's true. It's true. You got to be watching out for Poseidon. And again, I think the stamina pickup is going to be pretty critical for Tsunami. I've heard there was maybe a little bit of clashing of styles with Cajun and Stamina. We'll see if that ends up coming back to bite them. But I think just picking up someone with so much experience is such a good move for them.
It's going to be interesting to see how much mid-control Tsunami is going to let Novum take here. It didn't really work out for them originally.
Well, they're just on pistols this time around. So I see 3 players pushed in the ladder, 2 hanging out for connector. So a lot of times with these USPs, you will see the 5-player stack up, and you go, okay, we get 5 pistols, and we stack a spot, and we gamble. And if they push into it, one at a time, we kill the one, we take the weapon away. Cool. Now we've got a weapon that we can use, and maybe take more weapons away. But Tsunami split their forces, and they are keeping Novum guessing. We're a minute in, and Novum still don't have eyes on any of them, though that's going to change right away as Kermie sneaks in through Cat, but Cajun behind him going to pose a bit of a challenge. Novum make their way onto the A-bomb site. Kermie looking for these kills. Oh, that's a nade onto drop. So I think at this point, Coolcom is just going to look to try and salvage that AK.
Anything for the road, I think, at this point. Save as much as you can, just get something, because, like I said, Novum just... They're looking very strong. I know it was definitely an advantageous round for them, with Tsunami being locked on the pistols there, but there was a chance. We saw a bit of a flank, bit of a lurk that could have been a bit disastrous if Novum wasn't paying attention. But so far, on their map pick, they've been playing really, really strong.
They sure have.
Good way to start the day. Tsunami back on rifles now. Poseidon going to be picking up the op for his team. No ops on the side of Novum, though. 1 M4 stolen from Knight. So rifles all across the board. See if Tsunami can get back on the board here. It's been low tide for the Tsunami side so far here. Shore's looking a bit dry.
Yeah, but, again, we've seen some interesting things with regards to the CT side. And, again, every one of those kills. So the op gets so much more valuable in this new CT meta. Because, yeah, you get $100 in your pocket, but it's $250 split across the rest of the team. So op kills feel a whole lot better for the CTs than they used to. And I think that's something that's going to end up changing and shaping how we see the CTs play. Those just little picks are so, so good. Well, Novum heading on into the B-bomb site. They're like, all right, that's not going to work. Apartments push. Cool Comms prepared. He's got Poseidon here as well. This AWP has already found purchase on this round. Oh, this shot going to miss, though. 4 versus 3 as they do take down Cool Comms. With Poseidon continuing to be the Lord of the Ocean. And he's going to lead Tsunami to a 4K.
Yeah, great response from Tsunami here. Poseidon just putting the team on his back with the op, getting those kills, and, getting that CT bonus as well. Tsunami definitely has a chance to get back in the game here. Novum just a bit of a miscue. I think that opening pick just sort of ruined any plan they had going. The apartments push not really going their way, so we'll see what they elect to do. Again, it looks like we might be running it back. Trying to get a mid hit.
Well, we've got Bones boosted up. looking for a player trying to walk through a site into connector. And unfortunately for him, not going to catch anything. So that's 2 players committed over by ramp. Novum, they're not looking for the mid control this time around. Interesting change in strategy that they're waiting to see if Tsunami push them instead. So they're trying to hold back just a little bit, wait to see for the early pushes, wait and try and analyze the game a little bit more. They've had a few rounds handed to them in the early seconds. Tsunami did have that force buy into the pistols as well, so they haven't had a whole lot to... They haven't been able to figure out the gameplay just yet.
And yeah, and I don't hate the idea of slowing it down, especially after how the last round went as well. You don't want to give Tsunami a chance to swing that momentum back and get back in the game, so slowing it down, trying to make Tsunami play at your pace might pay off, but that isn't going to work. Poseidon still deadly on that op.
Oh, he's burning, but he gets out of the fire. Kermie gonna shut him right back down though, but it's a 1 versus 3, and Kermie, he's doing a good job of it. It's not easy being green, and he's gonna make that everyone else's problem. 1 versus 2 now. Cajun and Cool Comms on the other side of stairs. Kermie's got the bomb. He could make a round of this.
Yeah, Tsunami's got to be careful here. Kermie has been absolutely frying to start the game here, so definitely not totally over yet. Kermie still trading out shots with Cajun, but Tsunami, the wave is crashing in on Kermie, and Tsunami now only 1 round behind as we enter round 8, 4-3 for Novum.
Yeah, this is a bit of what I'm afraid of, right? Tsunami have players that are experienced enough to know that they can come back from behind. A 1-4 lead is not a, oh, we just give up. It is a, just bide our time, wait for the full buys. They did have a bit of a rough full buy against the Pistols a few rounds ago, but now it feels like they're firing on all cylinders. And Novum forced to go for a B rush. The Molotov will section them off and slow them down. Oh, that nade hurts. No armor on Bones. That hit him down by 2/3. Cool Comms now with a lot of work on his shoulders, but he's more than happy, more than up to the task. And Tsunami with an easy shutdown.
Cool Comms with a cool 3K in that one for Tsunami. Just excellent use of utility as well. Like you said, Novum in a really tough position. Tsunami just playing it perfectly. And they tie it back up, and it looks like the momentum has sort of shifted just that little bit more. But man, how deadly has Poseidon been on the op? How effective is he for Tsunami in this one?
I feel like he's the one that's bringing them into these rounds. We saw how he used the Scout to great effect earlier on in the Force Buy, and even picking up the MP9. This dude has been a Swiss Army knife for Tsunami. Both opening up and closing out rounds. Oh dear, Gibby going to open things up here this time. Cajun going to be the first one biting the dirt. That is going to give a read here to Tsunami though as well. They know there's players going to be sitting in underpass, so they do pull some forces back. They're not going to be peeking into connector. They're not going to give Novum that fight. But they are going to give Novum some space. This window going to be run over. Stamina has to be careful.
Yeah, you give Novum all of that mid control there. Gives them so many options to do whatever they want, but Stamina, look at this. Slowly creeping up to window. Does he know that Stamina is right there in the smoke? He does find him. That's Gibby securing that pick.
Uh-oh. Well, this is not good. 3 versus 5. Drop prepared for 1, but cannot find both. And now it's going to fall to Poseidon to defend this A bomb site from the players up ramp. 2 versus 3. He's got himself a first, but he doesn't realize there's a player already scaled up on site. And now Cool Comms has to finish the round himself. 1 versus 3. He's going to be playing this one from Palace. Novum already started to get to afterplant positions, so there's a lot of work to do. He doesn't have the kit either. This one might just be chalked.
I'm sort of thinking the same thing here. Unless Cool Comms just... Oh, okay, hold on, wait a minute. He's got something cooking HP here. Does find Bones. Has an idea of where Gibby is. Has him in his sights. Shots traded out.
But at the same time, Vine is starting to rotate around.
Doesn't have time. Doesn't have time either.
Sorts of far away.
Gibby stealing that off as well. Another bonus for Novum. Well was winning the round. It was a good attempt by Cool Comms. Definitely made it a little interesting, but just didn't have enough time.
Yeah, and I think the thing to think about now is, as we get into the final 3 rounds of the half, being at 4-5 for Tsunami, this might be their last bye if they're unable to win a round. And that feels really bad when you start to think about how strong the CT side might start to get with the extra money. So I'm a little bit worried for the rest of this game. Before, I would be saying, oh yeah, 4-5 on CT, that's not so bad. You know, T side, you'll definitely collect some rounds. But the game has definitely swung more CT-sided. Oh, this AWP in position. There's a player sitting on platform. He just needs a few more centimeters and he'll find Cool Comms. But look at this spot. This is a crazy off angle. Bones looking for the player on Van. So this would be a leg if he were to fire off now. Cool Comms just going to put down the smoke. Does get away. But Novum, they're going to rush right on through. So the smoke not really doing much of anything. It's a trade of frags and apartments, 2 for 2. But that does leave the B-bomb site rather open. Cajun going to be the first one on site to try and stop this from happening. Vine's still going to have time to get the bomb down. He's going to get the spam out, but does not hit the shot. So Novum get the bomb down. We do have the players for Tsunami arriving, but they're instantly shot. They're instantly dropped. 2 versus 2, drop on 15 HP, trying to make his way on into the site, using the smoke, trying to work his way around it. But Nate over from Cat, not going to allow anything from happening. And Poseidon, he's got the kit, but I don't think he's got a chance to win this one. That Molotov into position, and Kermi going to end his suffering.
With the bag as well, the T bag as well, for extra disrespect. Good job by Novum to break through that trap in apartments to get through to B as well. And shout out to Nate, finally getting on the board. First time we've called his name so far in this one. Hanging out with the whole... I mean, he's there.
Hey, Novum are winning.
But you know what? They're winning. It's a team game. Who cares?
Well,
I'm sure.
If it's solo queue, people definitely care.
Well, this is very true. But like you called it again, Tsunami now relegated to the pistols. Only 2 smokes across the entire team.
Yeah, and Kirby going to make tracks. He is charging up underpass. He is going to be heard from the player in window, and he's going to be heard from, connector, cat, all those sorts of places. But how much can you really do about a MAC-10 in your face when all you have is a pistol? The pistols almost rely on players moving slowly and sneaking around, and Novum have no intention of doing that. They have lost Nate in the scuffle, but he's got himself 2 on the round, so I think he's going to be feeling pretty good about it either way.
No, you can tell that Novum smells blood in the water right now. They're really trying to be aggressive against Tsunami. Cool Comms trading shots, not going to do anything. Poseidon gets eliminated. And that's going to be another round going for Novum, the last round of the half as well. Novum in the driver's seat. And like you said, with this lead, switching to the CT side after, it's going to be really hard to stop Novum, but they can keep this momentum going.
Yeah, I'm worried for the CT side that Novum is about to put down. This is their map choice, so it does stand to reason that they should be familiar on it, and they're playing a good bit of different strategies on their T side. They're not just going and throwing only mid control. They're not just trying to pug it and be like, let's just hit B over and over again. Heck, I was watching a game last night, and Notorious hit A site 7 rounds in a row. And Novum are showing that they've got more in the tank than just... They're not a one-note wonder.
No.
It's also good to see that they have the potential to play fast rounds and play slow rounds. They've had rounds where nothing really happens until a minute in, and then everything explodes, and they've had rounds where they get the early kills and they take the sights off of that. So they're doing a good job of keeping Tsunami guessing, and I think that's going a long way to keep them in the lead here, but that's a good start. Early kills going the way of Tsunami. Players popping out from everywhere. Novum, they're looking for the A bomb site, but now they've managed to walk into the stack, and Gibby, the last player standing, gets slapped away. Tsunami with a great read on the round. The A stack coming into play as Novum walks into the trap, 5-7.
Yeah, Novum just taking a little bit too long to decide what they wanted to do. Great response from Tsunami to get at least a little bit closer before the half switch. And there we go, our HUD also switching as well correctly. But I think it shows that Tsunami definitely still has some juice in the tank left. You know, definitely not out of it yet. Still feels like this is anybody's game. I don't think there really is a clear-cut favorite. If you can get Poseidon cooking again, you win the pistol round here, you get some money, give him a scout, get something going, you can definitely get back into it.
All right, the pistol round. Tsunami sending up a couple of players from underpass. They've got bomb over by ramp, so this one likely to end up with an big A finish, which Novum hasn't read. They've got 3 players lurking over toward the B bomb site. If Bones goes down, then this A bomb site is looking pretty weak, honestly. But Drop going to make himself known, so Novum going to start rotating in through CT. That Molly, oh, I heard a tick. So Tsunami, you're going to have an idea that the rotation is here, but there's only 2 places that Novum can really be. So this one pretty sectioned off here for Tsunami. It's going to be really up to the shots, really up to the reads. A quick trade early on. Poseidon going huge with the pistol, but he can't quite hold on. He doesn't need to, though. 2 versus 2. Novum are on site. They've got themselves a kit in the hands of Vine, but he's on low HP. They're going to need to hit these shots. Vine on... Oh my gosh, he's so low, but he's going for the defuse, and Tsunami will hit their shots. The final 2 shut down, and Tsunami take the pistol.
Yeah, Cool Calm's just spraying and praying through the smoke there. Perfectly done at the buzzer. Stroke of midnight, able to get that one back, and that's what we said. Just win the pistol, get yourself a little bit of a cushion, get a rifle in the hands of your best player, and then just go out and take another round and tie it back up.
Well, so with no defuse and only 3 kills on the Novum side, they don't go for what Tsunami did. They're like, all right, we have a couple of rounds as a buffer. We don't need to force it. We can just look for kills on the USPs and try to have a stronger series of rounds rather than taking the risk. And so I do like that thought. They stack 5 on the A bomb site. They're like, this is where Tsunami went last round. We've seen other games that have happened. Maybe they'll just hit A again. And they have taken basically every off angle you could ever go for on the A bomb site. Player behind ticket, player under balcony, player in sandwich. It's just a player on top of balcony, and Tsunami avoided entirely by going to B.
Well, Novum's going to have to make sure they rotate quickly. I'm sure somebody has to suspect that something's going on. Bones and the rest of the squad making their way through CT, trying to get this rotation going, but like we said, they gotta hurry. But now you give Tsunami a chance to really stack up and get your defense going. It's gonna be really hard for Novum to get back in now.
I don't think Novum were looking for the win on this one. I think they were looking to take a weapon away. You got 5 USPs. You're not looking to win the round. You're looking to take a weapon away, and if you're on CT now, you're looking to get some bonus cash. And you're also looking to not die to the MAC 10 stamina. With that, you're going to pick up $1,200 instead of only $600. Good kill back for Nate, and for Bones. But it does mean that Novum don't get to take any weapons into the next round. So they're going to have to buy up just the M4s. And so the thing about how the money is calculated is if you force up on round number 2, a lot of times before the money change, you'd force up on round number 2, you would completely full save on round number 3, and on round number 4, you'd have a full buy with an op. If you save on round number 2 of your side, then round number 3, if you're full buying, you don't have the op. But, I mean, I mentioned it yesterday. You could troll and not buy anything on pistol round. And if you get 3 kills and the defuse, then yeah, you can buy an op round number 2.
But that's such an oddly specific scenario, though.
I mean, it is, and you're not going to see it at this. I don't think you're going to see it at this level of
Probably
play,
not.
unless you've got a team where it's like, all right, we just switched to CT. We went 10-2 up on T. Let's see if we can meme it up and get an op for the end of the game by not buying anything on pistol. But again, you do have to have one player get 3 of those kills, or you're not going to have enough.
See where Tsunami elects to go here. Looks like they're trying to sniff out another B hit. But no commitments just yet. Cajun kind of trapped in mid here. Tons of utility getting thrown his way.
Yeah, they definitely got a read on this, and that's a dangerous position to be in. You can't really peek out or do anything because you'll get shot, but you can't stay there because you'll die to nades. Stamina coming in from underpass to try and assist as Novum do back out of mid. So they've actually abandoned this, which Cajun doesn't know yet because he's still stuck just sitting behind this, but he does make his way on out. Tsunami going to give him the go-ahead, the green light that, hey, it's safe to emerge. And now it's going to be just, all right, you've burned off a minute of time for Novum, and they retreat to the sites.
Poseidon getting the bomb back. Still in T spawn, though. It's going to see where Tsunami elects to plant. Still trying to sniff out any of these members of Novum. Novum electing to play really, really passive. We saw this last time as well, where Novum was just playing these off angles, waiting for Tsunami to come to them. Good start though for both sides. Novum finding 2, a third one as well as Vine adds 1 before he gets traded out. All up to cool comms now.
That was a case of walking into the stack. There were 3 players on A, and Tsunami took too long to fell them, so Novum had enough time to rotate in Carmi and Nate. Yeah, that was... The round took too long, and it got messy for Tsunami. For Novum's end, they did a great job of pulling Tsunami into their domain and forcing them to play to a much slower beat. So now we see the weapon's not so good. The bomb not planted, so we got just a Galil, an AK, and pistols, which is not going to feel great. Vine gets flashed in. Ooh! Does get 1, but the instant trade means that's a weapon dropped over to Tsunami, and now this round that looked very one-sided gets a little bit more even.
Yeah, just a bit of a miscue there from Vine. Was able to take the side now with him, but like you said, gives Tsunami just that little bit more of an edge in what looked like a round that Novum probably should have won fairly easily with the way the weapons have been traded out, but now he gives Tsunami a chance to tie it back up. Drop with the bomb, slowly making his way towards B. 2 members of Novum waiting in the wings for that push. Cajun there to support.
Well, so what we've got here is Tsunami have 2 trying to fake towards A, and it's kind of working. There's only 2 players on B for Novum. Good kill for Nate, though. That's going to keep Tsunami guessing. Oh, no. This push is falling apart, and now the fake has to become the real play. But the bomb has been dropped. It's stuck in apartments, and I don't think Stamina is going to be able to collect it. And unfortunately, he's going to have to do this all himself with 30 seconds. 1 versus 3. 3 Novum players looking his way in apartments on the B-bomb site. He's not going to be able to get out of apartments. 25 seconds, and it's Kermi to shut the door in his face.
Novum not fooled by that fake. I mean, they were able to sniff out that apartment's push, but once that happened, it just all collapsed on Tsunami. Another round going Novum's way. But still, you still feel like Tsunami not out of a yell. Like, they just need to string together these successful rounds together. But Novum is just too good at wrestling that momentum back away from them.
Yeah, and now they're stuck on the T side where the money is not going to be as good. You don't need as much money on the T side, but at the same time, not having it, I mean, now we're stuck on pistols and no armor. And so Tsunami going to have to go for a quick coin flip sort of a play. They're going to head on over towards A, where there are 2 players here. They've already lost Cajun. Bones floating around, ready to come in if needed as well. But I have a feeling these rifles are going to be enough. One does make it out of apartments, only to be shut right back down.
You have to feel like that round there feels like Novum sees the end in sight and is trying their best to get there as fast as humanly possible. Novum taking a timeout though, electing to just try and slow it down just that little bit. Take a second to really figure out your strategies. I don't hate that call. I think it's a good time for a timeout.
Yep. Novum want to close this out before Tsunami really get their sea legs under them. So I think it's a good time to be planning out what's next on the agenda and just shut it down.
With Tsunami's map pick coming up next on Inferno, I'm sure Novum wants to make sure they can secure this round here as well. Decider on Ancient. We did have some Ancient games yesterday. We do know how those can potentially go and snowball for one side. So I'm sure if you're part of the Novum faithful, you're hoping that they can just lock this one down here and then have an easy match on Inferno. Hopefully you start on the CT side. I think that's what Novum would like to see happen. And then they can hopefully move on to the next round here. But we'll wait and see. Round 18. Novum up by 3. With stamina creeping up towards mid. Does get stalled by that Molly. To wait just a little bit longer. Gibby trying to defend the A site all by his lonesome. The rest of Novum trying to make their way towards mid and B, but Tsunami falling apart at the seams right now. Doesn't even matter. Novum finding 3, but A now completely open, having to rotate back around. Bones finding Poseidon through the smoke, all up to Cool Comms now to try and secure this one. Does have the bomb, can make a play with that smoke. Novum still trying to find him.
Cool Comms on 9 HP. I don't think there's a whole lot of hope left for him as soon as he goes for the plant. They're going to encroach on him, so he's going to try to go for the sneaky play, but Kermi prepared inside of the spawn, and yeah, no space left for Tsunami. This is going to be that was really where they needed to make their stand. This round is just going to be desperation force. If anything, either desperation force to go for the win or save to go for the OT. But I mean, it feels fairly over, but you really.
I mean, it's not over until it's over. I mean, right? Like, stranger things have happened. We have seen miracle comebacks in CS before, but I think with the way that Novum has been playing this one, it feels like they've really taken control, especially on the CT side for them.
Oh, Cajun.
Oh, Cajun.
Lobster boil.
Not a
Captain
good start.
Crawfish.
Not a good start for Novum. Cajun just getting fried up in mid. Is gonna get aggressive though. Tsunami do take mid control, but Vine just right there, finding one, getting traded out immediately after though.
Okay, so this is a little bit better from Tsunami. They're playing in pairs, and the Tech9 able to trade that one out pretty easily while Vine was going for the reload. Cajun, this could be something. Gibby on ramp, catches Cool Comms as he's trying to set up for the push. The rest of the team, now they're going to be caught from 3 directions, basically. They've got spawn, they've got ramp, they've got players that could come in murder hole, but they're actually doing a good job. They've gained so much space over on the A bomb site, but it's not going to be enough. This Tech9 for Cajun picks up the AK, but he's got 30 seconds and no bomb. Novum have managed to extract themselves away from the site, so they're giving themselves another chance at going for this round. Cajun, first one's a fake, but second one should be the real deal, and Novum, that is going to give them the opportunity to rotate on over. Kermi with the shots, slaps him down, and I think this is it. I mean, it's 12-7, so, but the money on Tsunami, not great. We've got in the 4,000s, which if you're a T-side player is enough to go for a buy, but the utility is going to be slightly lacking. We can see stamina down to $150. He's only got a smoke. Drop is lacking that flashbang. Poseidon hasn't bought up yet, but given he had the same amount of money, I think we're just going to get an AK. Oh, we've got a Galil. We've got a good nade set. But again, this amount of nades on Mirage makes you feel like this map is a whole lot smaller.
You definitely have to feel like that it's a desperation
Oh
call
gosh,
at this
Gibby
point. It
getting up
really is.
close and
Oh,
personal. Well, that could be exactly what Tsunami wanted. An early pick means that this A site is going to be critically less defended. The smokes go down for jungle. Vine could be the hero for Novum. Grabs himself one. The AWP joins in as well. 3 versus 3. Oh, he's still there. Drop spots him from behind as he's pushed through the smoke. Bones forced to back off. So Tsunami going to scale onto the site. They are going to get that bomb down. 2 versus 3. I don't know. It's felt really good for Novum, even in these sort of awkward situations. Kermi set up at the edge of the smoke. Oh, he spotted one, but he can't quite connect. This one might be chalked for Novum. They might actually have to give this one up. They've got good money, though. Even if they lose this, any weapons they take away are going to feel great. Any extra money is going to feel fantastic. They're getting ever closer to that win, but they cannot close it. Cool Comms shuts the door in their face.
Unfortunate for Novum. I mean, Gibby getting caught out like that, that's just really unfortunate. That was sort of the beginning of the end, I think, of that round. You lose that critical defender on A, the whole site just completely crashes. Now Tsunami, still not out of it yet. And he got the AWP back in Poseidon's hands. You know what he's capable of doing with that. Don't look now, Tsunami might be able to steal another couple rounds before this one's over. Really make Novum sweat a little bit.
They might. We'll have to see. They're going in for this B site now, and again, it's not as stacked as A. There's 2 players here that are ready to push on over. Kermi, though, does get pushed back to bench, so there's going to be a lot of space gained by Tsunami. They just have to make it out window, and they can maybe make this one work. They've already got some players out. Nate going to be smoked off by Arch. Molly's going to go down. Drop should be able to get the bomb down. It would be a risky one, but he's got the first kill in his hands. 3 versus 3 as Novum start to rotate on over. They're slaying them left and right. Gibby and Bones now against Cajun and Stamina. Hey, health advantage over toward the CT side. Stamina, though, going to put that rifle to use. He's got himself one. It's going to have to be on to Gibby. 1 versus 2. Nate going to be placed, thrown into position to try and catch Cajun, but he's got him down to 22 HP. Flash on into the site. There's not too much more here to this round. Gibby sprays him down, but he cannot close this one out. It's going to be Cajun on 1 HP, and Tsunami are on 9.
Like we said, you just got to take one round at a time. You really feel like Novum is starting to sweat just that little bit. That should have been the round for them. Just a couple miscues, giving Tsunami a little bit too much space in apartments to really let them get set up. Not able to close that one out either. Tsunami just proving they just are going to be tough. They're going to be a tough competitor, not willing to go away easily. Now Kermi, the only rifle in hand, you're hoping that they can at least get a couple kills early to maybe give Novum a chance to steal a rifle. That's exactly what that's going to help with. Cajun falling in mid.
Yeah, the boost up over underpass. I like that read out of Novum to go, okay, they're going to have rifles, not pistols, so they're not going to just shove apartments. And we can use this rifle to collect that little bit of extra money going into the next round. Though they do lose it. And I think Tsunami have managed to crash their way onto the A-bomb site. But Bones, well, dunked.
It looked good for a second, though.
I mean, P250 getting kills always does.
Round 23, getting so close to a potential overtime. We are going to get another tech pause, giving both teams a chance to get a little bit of a breather as well. If you're Novum right now, what do you think the comms are looking like? Like if you're the coach, what are you telling the team to do right now? What is Novum's easiest path to victory here?
Honestly, it's buy now. Don't worry about trying to save for the potential prevention of overtime because you're on CT. You may as well just either close it out here or go to overtime. So, and I mean, you still got one more round after this. So I don't think you can give up either of these 2 rounds. I think that if I'm Novum, I'm not going to guess about the B site. I think I want to play my players mid. I would especially want to put somebody going up through Valley and getting the early info on anyone that is checking mid for Tsunami. Either that or play for a risky pick on ramp. I think that you want to kind of coin flip.
We'll see what they elect to do. It looks like Tsunami's taking another attempt at a B hit.
Well, Tsunami read exactly the playbook that I did, apparently,
There you go. They heard you. They're watching the
they've
stream
sent
right
the
now.
bomb over by B. Well, they do have Cajun watching for that early mid aggression that Novum could be putting down. So this is actually different than what I would say is right now Novum are kind of playing safe. They haven't pushed into any positions that Tsunami could be early on, and so they're not going to get a whole lot of early information. All they can divine is what's being thrown out of the nades. Luckily for them, Tsunami aren't moving very fast. This is a very slow building wave. 1 minute 5 seconds, and Tsunami aren't out on either of the sites. They've got themselves a lot of mid pressure, which Novum don't have anyone to read that either. Nate gonna spot something there, though, as Cajun tries to sneak past ladders.
Poseidon falling as well. That's Bones on the op, so only 3 left alive for Tsunami. You still have the bomb creeping its way through apartments. Bones, the only member of Novum, directly on B. Kermi, though, is there for support if needed, but might not be needed as stamina goes down as well. Bones, though, perfect shot. Finds drop, all up to Cool Comms to secure the potential comeback. Not going to happen. Novum secure the win on Mirage in a scrappy first round against Tsunami. I think we're really in for an exciting Inferno.
I think so too. I got to watch Inferno once last night, and unfortunately, it was NRG's Inferno, which means they utterly ran over Notorious. It wasn't even close. It was the T side, and it was just a full-on steamroller. So I'm thinking that Novum are going to have their work cut out for them if Tsunami are looking anything like that.
It's going to be tough, I think. I think Novum, in that second half, they really started to wake up a little bit. Bit of a slow start on T, but now you go into Tsunami's map pick, with that momentum. You had to be feeling good, but I mean, Tsunami, like you said, it's a very slow building wave, and they were sort of coming back into it at the very end of that one. So now, with their map pick coming up, I don't know, maybe I sort of favor Tsunami in this situation. It's tough, right? I think both sides have a path to a potential victory in this map too. I think, like we said, I think it's going to be a really, really scrappy round of Inferno.
Well, I think that the player that was really good to watch on Tsunami was Poseidon on the CT side. And given they're not going to get a chance to start on the CT side, that AWP on Inferno is pretty weak. You'll see a lot of players that are oppers not pick that up. So given that Poseidon was that big piece for Tsunami, I think the big thing to take away from that is now Bones is going to get a chance to really come flying out of the gate on CT side, and that's something I am going to be a little bit worried about for Tsunami.
Now, if you're looking at Novum, which member of the Novum roster are you really going to be paying attention to?
Well, I said it already. I'm going to be looking at Bones because his op at the end there, I mean, he was getting a lot of slow-moving players. He was just, the ducks were not moving very quickly. Tsunami were trying to sneak their way toward B, or they're trying to sneak their way toward mid, and it was easy catches. They didn't have enough utility to really cover themselves. Other than that, I kind of want to look for Nate to wake up a little earlier this game. Mm-hmm. He definitely had a quiet first map, and so I think that if he wakes up, it's going to be big trouble. But at the same time, it's 11:02 local. A lot of these players wouldn't be awake if they weren't here.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It is a little early. Even we saw that in some of the earlier games on day one, where it sort of took a little bit to get these players sort of really warmed up, especially on these higher level teams. Mm-hmm. You gave the opportunity for the lower seed to maybe steal a couple rounds, or feel like they might have a chance. But experience like we've seen many times, I think, in tournaments like these, usually trumps all, unfortunately.
I mean, I would say not unfortunately. I think the more reps you get, the better you should be, right? It's if people are coming in at 17 years old and instantly defeating the teams that have been in there for 10 years, I think that's the sign of a game that's not doing well. So I'm going to say that, the longer you're doing it, the better you should be. And so I am hoping we get to a map number 3. I think that Tsunami at the end of the game there, they were starting to wake up a little bit. But I've also seen from some of their previous games that there may be a little bit of trouble in Paradise. So we'll have to see if that comes back to bite them. I've maybe heard some rumors of some roster changes that are already going to be hitting them. So I'm not going to say too much about that. But
Exclusive scoop over here
I'm not
on
going
the B stream. We'll never know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if it ends up happening. But you can be the first one to post on social media that you were right.
Well,
you
we'll have
You'll have to wait and see. But no, I agree with what you're saying. I think Tsunami, like you said, slowly starting to wake up. It is their map pick, so you have to think that they have at least a little bit of confidence that they can make it to a map 3. If it did go to a map 3, who do you really favor in that one? Because like we said, we've seen sort of both sides of these teams. They both have, I think, a really good chance of winning this one. So if it made it to a map 3, like, who do you even pick in that situation?
I think the longer this goes, the better Tsunami's chances are. I think that, again, they have the advantage of having the higher level of practice. So they're the team that made it farther in the playoffs. They're the team that made it farther in the Advanced League. They've participated in more tournaments but again, you also look at them and you go, well, the team looks different from tournament to tournament, so you have to adapt new players to the same system. And, you've got Cajun system, you've got Stamina system, and I feel like there might be 2 styles that are both coming out here, and maybe that's what happened on Mirage. And so the hope is that they can get that harmony back under themselves. And if they can do that, then they're going to start running through Nova.
Well, I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Still waiting just to get both teams into the map. Of course, as I say it, look at that. We spoke it into existence. It's Inferno. Novum getting that start on the CT side. That's got to feel good right off the gate.
Yeah, I think that in Go, at the very least, Inferno is one of the more CT-sided maps. But as the skybox gets opened up, Inferno actually gets a lot more interesting. The T side has a lot more places that they can be throwing smokes. However, we're seeing a very traditional pistol. Let's go B, and Kermi just smacks Stamina to start this one off. He jumps up and gets just dropped. The big thing, though, is Novum haven't started to rotate. So Kermi's staying alone over towards B. He's going to have 4 players to deal with. The smoke CT is going to call out, all right, there's going to be a push. The flash forces him back on out, but he's not going to get the chance to leave. And this is going to be Tsunami planting that bomb. Novum going to be rotating over all 4 through CT. So it's going to be a read that Tsunami can work with. Coolcom's playing inside a temple. They do have a player sitting banana just in case, so the very least, Novum do have a numbers advantage as they work their way in through Church. Drop, though, going to be living up to his name and dropping body after body on the floor. Coolcoms with 3, and Novum and Tsunami with round number 1.
Great job. I was going to say, bold play from Novum to just leave Kermi all by his lonesome, defending Banana. I mean, it looked like it was going to work out for him, getting that 1 tap to start the round, but just completely overwhelmed by the rest of Tsunami. That wave came in and crashed into Kermi. So great way to start for Tsunami. Like we said, this is their map pick, so you have to
look
feel
at the
like...
nades. Look at the nades Novum have. This is dangerous.
Got to be careful here as well. Novum electing to get a little bit more support near B and Banana, because I'm sure they're expecting another banana push from Tsunami. That's exactly what's happening.
This goes back to a point I made before where we've got the full force buy for round number 2. So Novum not playing for round number 3 and a rifle buy. They're playing, the 5.7s are mean business. Stamina going to be the first one to discover. And these MAC-10s, there's a good possibility that with a couple of pistols, you can deal with this.
We've seen that Novum has had success with the pistol as well. Bones with that frag going out. Does find Cajun for about 48 HP. Bones, though, stuck in the corner, is able to get out of that molly. Gibby adding another pick as well. Drop falling.
That is the danger to a MAC-10 versus 5.7 fight. Is if that's a 5.7 that can swing very fast, and the MAC-10 you have to be on a pivot. But it does look like Tsunami will. Oh, will they recover? Kermi on 7 HP. He's got the MAC-10 picked up. No kit, no need. USP pulled out, and Cool Comms collects a 4K.
Kermi, again, he's really had a good start to this game. I thought he was going to pull that one out there. It looked like he was going to, but Cool Comms just staying cool and winning that one for Tsunami. They've looked really good to start this one. Novum, a little bit discombobulated. They can't really seem to get anything going consistently, and I think a timeout here early is a good play call.
Yeah, I'm very much for slowing things down. They are likely to be saving this round so that they can get that better buy going into round number 4. So I think taking the timeout and then taking a slower pistol round is the right move.
Slowing things down. We'll see what Novum elects to do here. Tsunami rifles on their side. Now Novum, though, sticking with the pistols for the most part. Bones, one frag and a dream for his utility here. We'll see if anyone elects to pick anything else up, but...
Uh-oh, Nate's spinning. Can't believe we're spin botting on LAN. What happened to the game I love? Single tier.
Some people, man. Some people are just like that.
Some people are like that. Well, we throw them out of LAN. We don't need cheaters. There we go.
Oh
okay, the USP and the nade are working out perfectly. But that is going to give now Tsunami a nice target-rich environment. Stamina collects 2. That's a $1,200 swing for him.
Surprised at how aggressive that Novum wanted to be there. Maybe they were trying to catch Tsunami off guard, get a couple picks, and steal a rifle, but...
I think when you're going in with full USPs and you're doing that sort of thing, you're like, all right, let's collect maybe 1 kill, and if we can get that and walk away, cool. If not, hey, it's $50 a person. You know, every kill is just so much more valuable on the CT side these days. And so that's something that you have to really keep in mind when you're figuring out your CT strategy. You can't just be saving every round. Game time, I'm sorry, it's over for anyone that is sad to be missing game time.
Always missing game. Look at this, though. You got Novum on some rifles for the first time in this one. Banana Control, though, is giving up. Bones still trying to defend.
Ooh.
Misses that first shot.
But that's going to give the read. Now they know the ops are positioned over towards B, so the instant rotation. And bomb is not even here. Like you mentioned, it's been left toward T steps. So that's going to be just like, okay, probing over towards B. Bones, though, you can see he's already started to rotate on over. So this is still going to have the op presence on the A site. Vine, though, and Gibby not prepared for the push. They get bowled right over. And this A-bomb site now belongs to Tsunami.
I think it's going to be a round going for Tsunami as well. Novum just rotating as far back as they can. They just have not looked good to start this Inferno round. Tsunami has looked really, really sharp. And like you said, Gibby and Vine just not prepared for that push at all. Just not in a good position. Bones, though, does pick up 1. Does find Stamina getting a little too far away from the site. The rest of Tsunami, a little wiser to that. They're just going to hold Banana and just hold A. Make sure that bomb goes off. Novum not even interested in getting back. Early 4-0 lead for Tsunami. It's their biggest lead of the series so far.
Yeah. I mean, again, you pick this map, you hope that you have enough know-how. Oh, wait. No, go back to playing the bells.
Wonder what he was trying to play.
I don't know. I didn't recognize it was like da 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 da. I don't know what it was supposed to be.
We'll have to have somebody go back and do it again at some point.
Can you play the Taco Bell theme on the bells? Because they're bells, so you might just be able to just be like...
Isn't the Taco Bell theme just like one bell, though? I don't think it's a theme song. Unless I'm misinformed. But
I don't watch many commercials. I have Twitch Turbo and I have YouTube
look at this
Premium.
Guy.
So
Must
I don't
be
watch...
nice. Twitch Turbo.
It is nice.
Wow.
I no commercials for me, thanks.
Wow. Must be nice to be part of the 1%, I guess.
It is. It is.
Well,
I'm
all
just gonna
right,
lean into
ladies
it.
and gentlemen, no remorse.
No. All right, so once again, Nate now left alone on the B-bomb site. There's a 4-player stack on A. So you can see Tsunami trying to read this, but the smoke going to be in their way, and they're like, all right, we'll rotate back around. This is a gnarly crossfire, though. Look at how many angles Novum have on mid. They've got a player boosted up. They've got a player below Balk. They've got a player sitting arches. And just for good measure, they've got Gibby hanging out by the bike.
It's a lot of pressure on Nate. Like, look at the space that they're allowing Tsunami to get here. Kermie does rotate back to support. So you do split a little bit. Looks like Tsunami is going to commit to that B hit. See if Novum can sniff this out. They do send a couple more players back around. They have figured out the plan.
Yeah, but that smoke on CT didn't look like it covered just about everything. So Novum getting in early could be dangerous. Oh, smoke blowing open doesn't quite work out. And Tsunami gonna smack down that op. Novum, they've got their players in position, but Stamina, he's frying. Good kill, but it is a 1-for-1 for Nate. There's not enough HP left. Gibby and Nate on barely a scratch. They're still fragging their ways on out. They're not going to go down without a fight. 3 versus 3. Cool Com's able to collect one more. Poseidon spears another. I think at this point, Nate just has to focus on getting out of the site alive, but he's not going to be allowed to. Poseidon with another. Collects the op as well, and it's a 5-0 start. He's like, I don't need the op. We're on T side, I forgot.
Novum taking another timeout. Yeah, this is a much different Novum from what we saw on Mirage. I mean, Tsunami just has read everything perfectly. Any strategy that Novum has tried to throw at them, you know, giving space and Banana, trying to stack up on A, it just hasn't worked out for him. Just poor timing, poor decision-making, I think.
Well, I don't want to have more one-player stacks on B-bomb site. Stop putting one player there. Put 2 players at least.
Especially on a map like Inferno, because there really isn't an easy way to rotate between sites. Like, you do have to go a pretty long way to get between the sites here, especially if, you know, a certain side is controlled or, you know, you have util to block off CT, right? Like, it's, you know, leaving one on B stacked up there, it is a bit of a risky play call, especially with the way Tsunami's been playing right now. I definitely agree with what you're saying. You just can't leave one person to defend, and it looks like they've become a little wiser to this right now. Gibby, the only member of Novum, trying to defend A, but Tsunami not particularly interested, it looks like. Still trying to feel things out. Gibby, though, eats a bunch of damage from that frag.
Yeah, this is a great force buy out of Novum, and I like the adaptation. Oh, they're getting aggressive, though, and it's working out. Nate with a kill on that 5-7. But look at the HP remaining. Tsunami just have a mopping up exercise, and Cool Com's more than happy to clean. Just vacuuming up these kills, and Banana. Nate, though, going to punish him for walking through the smoke and not peeking and not checking his corners. But Cajun puts that final nail in the coffin.
Always have to check those doors and corners. That's the first thing they teach you. Yeah, it's just Tsunami just has been completely dominant. I mean, they've only had to get the bomb detonated one time so far. All the other rounds, it's just them just simply out-fragging Novum. And I think that's very indicative of Novum's performance so far. They just can't get anything going, it seems. And especially now, it's really starting to get dire because we're getting close to the round switch. If you give Tsunami that big of a lead going into the CT side with the way they've been playing, we definitely are going ancient.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of want to call that we're going to ancient at this point, but you never know how it could go. We can see already a big B lean for Tsunami. Cajun, oh my goodness, and Stamina. Send more dudes over toward B. It won't matter. Novum, they lose 2, and the B-bomb site already picked up. We're not even a minute into the round, and Tsunami have crashed their way in.
You make it really, really hard for Vine and Gibby now to rotate back. You have Drop over there as well. Stamina coming to sort of delay. But again, just not much for Novum here. You got the smoke off of CT there. Bones trying to find something with the op. Vine waiting for someone to swing. Not going to work. His stamina just finishes him off there. But it's just another round where Novum's strategy, their defensive strategy, just completely falls apart.
They're playing really rigid, I think, is the issue. I liked that force buy where they let things play a little bit more fast and loose, and rather than just keeping their players on B stuck there or keeping their players on A stuck there, they actually flowed in between the sites. You really have to do that on Inferno because once you get locked out of a site with the utility and once the bomb is down, as a CT, you're kind of just stuck. Your path back into that site is it looks a lot like the sad road from the meme where like one path is like rainbows
Oh, yeah,
and happy
yeah.
and a castle, and the other side is like a haunted mansion and you've got the dead trees. That's what it looks like when the site gets run over and you're not there.
I guess some good news for the Novum faithful. Bones did get to keep his op. That's something. That's probably the best thing we've had to say about Novum in this round. But once again, Tsunami finding that opening pick. Bones, though, answers with one in kind. Still even. Kermie, though, getting a little bit aggressive on this push. Not going to work out for him as Cajun is there to meet him. And now, once again, B completely open for Tsunami.
I liked the thought out of Kermie to play behind the smoke and try for maybe a cheeky kill on somebody pushing it, but made a little bit too much noise, got red, and got dropped. I do like the fact that we're getting to see some UMP play. I figured that when the MP9 got nerfed and when the money got buffed for the CT side, we'd see more UMP. And it's nice to see I was right. Bones on 2 HP does slap away. Oh my gosh. Cool Comms is 172 ADR. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's been frying.
A little bit.
Really has.
This is dangerous. Normally you don't feel so bad dying to the op, but that's 4 kills. That is an extra flashbang worth of money that you wouldn't have otherwise had across each player.
Bones was kind of, looked like he was in a montage there at the end there. He was.
It's too bad it was all saving kills.
All saving, but like you said, like we're trying to give Novum at least a little bit of positivity. I mean, Bones still gets to keep his op. You have decent bit of utility. Vine and Gibby a little strapped, but it's something. I think this is probably Novum's best chance to maybe steal around away before the half.
Stamina still playing like these CT Molotovs are as useless as they used to be,
mind.
and it doesn't even matter. He's going to walk right in and just erase Bones. And that's the op down. There's not going to be much money left for Novum if they lose this round. It's already 4 rounds left in the half. Vine, he's switching weapons as Drop leaves apartments. And that's going to allow Tsunami to get out on A site. Look at this. The bomb is sitting behind Kermie as well. Cajun just fragging from within the site, and that leaves Tsunami with enough time to rotate on over.
Gonna have to be quick, though.
It's not even just that Tsunami are playing well. They're playing like they know where Novum are. They're playing like they've got radar. And I'm not going to say that they are because we're on LAN and no one's got that kind of thing because an admin's standing behind you. And if you have that, then, But they've got the information. And Poseidon waiting sandbags as they start to creep on up, and it just stomps on them like bugs.
Yeah, it's just another Novum timeout. I mean,
that's all of them.
That's all of them right there. I mean, Tsunami just, like you said, they've had Novum's number in every aspect of this game so far. Like, I thought Tsunami was going to come in a little bit more competitive and, give them a run for their money, but I didn't expect it to be this much of a stomp, I think.
Tsunami have gone from feeling like I think they were playing with 2 systems on Mirage to they've got a lot more harmony on this T side. So whatever communications troubles they might have had on Mirage, it's not happening on Inferno. It is a shame that Ancient is our final map and that Anubis is out because I know that Tsunami are an Anubis faithful team, and that would have been fun to watch.
Unfortunate.
R.I.P. Anubis. It should have been Inferno that was
Gone
taken
but
out.
not forgotten.
I mean, while we're at it, again, we need to get rid of Dust and Mirage. And you know what? We can leave Inferno as long as we get rid of all the deserts.
You just hate the desert maps, don't you?
I hate sand. It's coarse and rough and gets
irritating,
everywhere.
It gets everywhere.
Yeah. But,
yeah,
Tsunami having a great game. Again, cool comms. His ADR has gone down slightly to 145, but that's still huge. Kermie, though, waiting on the rotation. They're trying to go in through CT. I love this. Okay, so Tsunami finally showing a little bit of weakness as they charge up in through Arch, and they go, all right, we'll just go towards B. Cajun spots a leg. That's enough sticking out for him to take the rest of the body. He's just going around the world, and he might just get caught here. He's making a lot of noise, and Current Bones is prepared for him.
Cajun definitely feeling himself a little bit there. Getting a bit too aggressive, I think, but I think you have such a lead now. You have a bit of a cushion where you can afford to drop at least one round before half, but that could have been another situation where, you get the bomb down at least, a little bit more cash in your back pocket. But Cajun I think he had a good reason to feel confident about the way they'd been playing, and he tried to double down and just didn't go.
Well, this is the first time Novum have their feet under them here on Inferno. Must be all that Italian wine, They got a little bit before we started the game, and no, I don't know. Library is a winery now. We went from books to booze.
It really says a lot about our society, doesn't it?
Well, 2 rounds left in the half. The only damage here been taken by Stamina and Poseidon. A little bit for Cajun as well, but I don't think Tsunami are going to feel too bad losing that HP.
Slow start to this round. Tsunami trying to get as much intel as possible.
Well, they've had the most. There's been the most util coming out of Novum this round. So the smokes they're finally getting a chance to use smokes and stop up Tsunami. Okay, Gibby doing something that I love to do, and I'm so sad it didn't work out. Playing from inside apartments, trying to look for the mid players. Drop trying to catch the next one up to bat. And that might just be the A site run over. But again, Tsunami, they're faking. They're moving back and forth. They put the smokes down to fake B site. They force those 2 players to stay there. So it's going to be all up to Bones. He might be up to the task, but he can't go any further than 2. That's the bomb picked up. The A site going to be taken by Tsunami. And now Novum, once again, it's a do or die. They need these last 2 rounds. They need to make this a 9-3 if they want any chance of coming back on the T side. Tsunami have had such a dynamite T side that I don't see it happening. But you never know. Okay. All right, pulling out the Deagle there. It's like, hey, who needs the AWP? Well, it turns out that the AK, the AK is going to work out fine now. Last of the half.
I think this one's going to be over pretty soon once the half switches, I think. I mean, like you said, Tsunami's T side just been absolutely dynamite. They have been in complete control the entire time, just giving Novum no room to breathe at all. And yeah, Novum now in a bit of a tough spot. Do have Vine with the most util on the team, but no rifles across the board. Poseidon with the op for Tsunami. It's been a little quieter, this one, I think. This has really been Cool Comms' show.
It has been. Shout out to Ms. Cool Comms in chat. While we're shouting people out in chat, shout out to Vlad in chat. Vlad hanging out, being like one of the only people that's actually chatting, so I appreciate you. Anyone else that wants a shout out in chat, just, say something nice about the casting and
please.
But anyway.
Maybe say something nice about Novum. They've really been struggling this one.
Oh, Kermie gets caught by the nade. That one hurts. Oh, man. Well, I mean, that's bomb on nearly on A. No. Kermie catches it. Wait a minute. I don't think that's going to really call this round into question because Cajun's already in through apartments. He's going to be just jumping on out Belk, get onto the site. And even though they've got Novum here with them, Coolcom's about to catch players from Boiler. Oh, they saw him, but he saw them, and it's Cajun to come out on top. He's got the high ground, and he's using it. A double kill, and now it's just going to be up to Nate, but Coolcom's going to finish this one off with a triple. And Tsunami have decided that this game doesn't actually happen. They have just utterly obliterated Novum in every sense of the word. They have left them 0 openings, and I'm sure our Mr. Production Man King is smiling ear to ear to see this second map.
You think Novum gets at least one more before this one ends?
I mean, pretty much they have to get pistol. Wait, what, King? This is normal?
This is normal.
This is just what Tsunami does on Mirage, on Inferno. Wow. I need another coffee.
Well, hopefully we'll have a little bit of time after this series. You can go get another one. Because I think we're going to be rapidly approaching map 3 here, unless Novum has.
Who took the silencer off the USP? Don't circumcise the USP. Leave the tip on.
I don't even know how to follow that one up. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
It's Poseidon. Poseidon circumcised his USP. All right, I'm gonna stop making that joke now. 2 versus 3. His bomb is down on the B bomb site. Novum. They've got the player advantage. They've got positions on this too. No smoke for CT means Nate can just sit here and have a nice valley to shoot down. Poseidon, the final one to go down. And Novum, they do take the pistol. So yes, they are going to take a few rounds.
There you go. Not over yet for the Novum faithful.
Yes, Vlad knows why I'm saying this. We don't need to circumcise the USP.
We're really getting into some deep conversation at 11:30 in the morning. This is only B stream content, folks. You're not getting such like
no. I would say this on the
like,
A stream
philosophical
too.
dialogue.
I
on
would
the
say
A
this
stream.
on the A
That's all I'm gonna
too.
say. You come to the B stream for the vibes, I think. See if Novum can. Yes,
We're so
yes,
vibes.
King. I agree. Yes, I agree with that. We'll see if Novum can possibly steal this round away. It looks like they have a really good chance.
But you know what the worst part about taking the silencer off these days is?
Oh, please tell me.
Is you have to very intentionally bind that button to a key and turn on the setting. So you can't accidentally take the silencer off anymore. So that means Poseidon did it intentionally. And that means that if you drop that weapon to a teammate, if you don't have that bound, you can't put it back on. So you control teammates by taking your silencer off and be like, hey, look at my skin, and then you steal their gun away, and now they have an unsilenced USB. However, Stamina playing from the other side of the smoke. Good trade to start this one off. There's still some guns on the side of Tsunami on the B-bomb site, and they're looking to bottle up this play. And Banana, but drop, unable to stand tall, does mean that the A-bomb site now open for business.
Open for business for Novum, but Cajun try to get some shots down. Not going to find any purchase. Poseidon, the only one left. Vine going to get the bomb down. It's going to be another one for Novum unless Poseidon has anything left. He is not going to even attempt. Unless he tries to find a straggler. Nate going to end it. Novum, another round in a row. Finally getting some momentum. Finally getting some positivity on their side. Tsunami just has to wait a little bit longer to get to the end of this one.
You know what? If the voices in my head sounded like King, I would consider that an upgrade.
And you know what, too? We could just be making that up, right? Like they don't actually know that we, they don't know for sure that we have prod in our ear, right? So we could just be making it up.
It's true. All right, wait, hold on. Can we see if Poseidon? No, he's got a deagle, so it doesn't matter what he's done to his USB. Unlucky. Oh man. All right. Well. 3 players stacked over toward the B-bomb site this time around, and that Deagle going to catch one. Stamina with a good first kill, but the spray down working out well for Novum. 2 versus 3, pistols versus rifles. I have a feeling who wins in that situation. Both pistols over toward the banana position, so Novum just going to put down some util and leave, but leave them with a parting gift of bullets.
3 in a row for Novum now. But Tsunami finally getting rifles on the board. You have to think that this is going to be their best chance to swing momentum back in their favor. Because you can't let Novum start to feel that confidence again. We know what they're capable of. So you got to make sure that you just lock it down right here and just end it. Get to Ancient as quickly as possible. Because you want to make sure you can ride this wave that you've built for yourself into the next map and hopefully into the next round of this loser bracket. See Stamina, the lone member of Tsunami defending Banana. It's a util around there. Still trying to shoot through the smoke. Novum not going anywhere quick. Drop is there now in top Banana to give him some support. More util going out, more smokes to give Tsunami just a little bit more cover.
Well, this is the interesting part that's come from opening up the skybox here on Inferno, is that smoke sitting at the bottom of Banana, you can throw that from CT spawn. So there's a huge amount of extra control you can take on CT side. From the T side, you can get some interesting stuff where you can throw smokes from there and get a lot of mid control early. You can even get top Banana early. There's a lot of positions opened up for flashbangs. So, like, as much as people dislike Inferno, there is a lot more intrigue to it now. And again, like most maps in CS2, it's real pretty. Tsunami have only left drop to watch this B-bomb site. It feels a little bit dangerous because, well, instant headshot out of Gibby. He's been erased. And now Tsunami left scurrying on over, but there's the player left to lurk on Banana. Kermi only able to stand up for one. 3 versus 4, but Stamina lit down to 26.
I'm honestly surprised that Tsunami let one player defend B after how well that worked for Novum last time. And, I mean, you look at what's been going on. Novum sort of taking a play out of Tsunami's playbook, completely crashed B, and now you have another round win for Novum.
And Tsunami also taking a play out of Novum's book by leaving one player on B. It's a little bit too rigid. And especially in such a cleared and commonly pre-fired angle like coffins, it's just it feels optimistic. You know, it's like, all right, we're gonna leave our player coffins. That's fine. They'll die to that. But you can't always assume that sort of thing.
You know, we were sort of joking about a potential Novum comeback, but
I still don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think so either, but they're at least making it a bit more interesting in the second half. Again, you know, surprising on a mainly CT favored map. It's been the Ts that have just really been running everything so far. So a bit of a flip in the script.
Well, you say it's mainly CT favored. I would challenge you on that. I think that a lot of the time Inferno has ended up T-sided. It ends up momentum-sided. Whatever side gets that early series of rounds is going to just keep winning rounds. And if you start trading rounds, that's where things get really interesting. And that's where you can start to see things get a little bit CT-sided if you start trading rounds. But, I mean, that's the other thing is, on the T side, if you're running and you're just charging out, those wide swings can be really tough to stop. Drop does manage to erase one. Oh, look at this! A 1 HP and a 2 HP. 26 on Gibby. Stamina's on site as well. Tsunami have rotated over just in time for this bomb to go down. Unfortunately, Drop not going to be surviving. So it's going to be up to Stamina. 74 HP, but that AWP ready for him. Bones, I mentioned him as a player to watch. He's living up to the task. Now that's 4 kills for Tsunami. That means that they do have a little bit of extra cash on that CT side, but these rounds are starting to look a little bit more and more unsure of themselves. They're like, wait a minute, guys, we won 11 on T side. Aren't we supposed to be done with this game by now? But no, this is the T side.
Now you start to sweat a little bit if you're Tsunami, just because of the way that Novum has been playing. You still have the advantage for the most part. You know, you have, you know, it's so close, but with the way Novum's been playing, they've started to find that momentum that they really gained at the end of Mirage. Gibby, it's a good start for him. Cajun falling through the smoke beside and trying to hold off Novum with the op.
Well, this is an interesting thing, is Novum picking up the AWP on T side is not something you often see on Inferno unless you've got, you know, an opera named Monacy on your lineup. And so I think that Novum playing with a lot of confidence on their T side. We did see Poseidon picking it up on the T side as well. So a lot of confidence coming into play from both of these oppers. And that means that we're in for a bit of a treat.
There's Poseidon getting warm with the op. Nate answering with the kill on Stamina. Still 3 apiece for each side. Poseidon holding this hard angle on B. Does have drop to help defend the B side with cool comms waiting in the wings for support. Bones getting cooked by that molly. Finds a perfect spot to avoid the rest of it. But drop coming through the smoke is going to fall. Poseidon does find Bones, all up to Nate to potentially win it. Doesn't do it. Tsunami have finally reached match point. Can they put Novum away?
I mean, the money. There's still a FAMAS in the hands of Drop. Like, I realize that the MP9 did get nerfed, but I still feel like the FAMAS is not where it needs to be for me to feel as good as buying a Galil. Regardless, a lot of nades going off early on, early defaults. Banana looking like, well, Inferno. But Novum, well, so this is the first time that on their CT side that Tsunami have had the necessary utility to hold back Novum. And they're doing a very admirable job of it. They're forcing Novum to say, all right, we can't just take Banana, so it's going to be up to Poseidon. As Novum start to swing on out through mid, they've got a player boiler and player mid to work with to try and double swing this, but they're just going to put the molly down, continue to scale out onto the A-bomb site. Are we going to hit that shot? Poseidon trying to get reinvested into this position over by Quad, and he's going to hit the first, but not the second. Gibby with the trade. And that's going to allow Novum a whole lot of space. Now it's going to be up to Cool Comms. Cajun here as well. A race is won. Cool Comms from up above. He's using this off angle well. 2 versus 3. Bones on barely a lick of HP. But the rotation is going to have to come in for Tsunami as Novum look to get the bomb planted. They're already in and over through Moto. They're going to rush on in. They don't even care that the smoke is there. They don't need to because they've won the game. Cajun and Drop to clean this one up, 13-6.
We knew it was a matter of time before Tsunami was going to really take control. They finally get that win after it looked like Novum was going to make a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think you go into the beginning of the game 11-1, and you're like, okay, we should probably be sweating a few of these rounds. But at the end of the day, it's 2 to close it out. Like, come on.
It took a bit, but they got there. That's all that matters. They don't ask how, they ask how many. Right?
Well,
Tsunami, they got there.
According to King, that Inferno is just business as usual. So, we're trying to make it exciting, but King has said, the script has been written, guys. I don't know what you're talking about. This game's over. You can try to make it exciting all you want, but
just got to follow the script. Now, what do you think the script writers have planned for Ancient?
Well, so Ancient's a map that, at least on CT side, your offer can also not have quite as much to do. You're going to have ramp, you're going to have A site. A lot of offers just end up playing that donut A site position. And I feel like I've been highlighting the offers a lot over this series. I mean, you've got Cool Comms from Tsunami. It was an enormous point of how they managed to win that game. And from the other side, I feel like we were talking about Kermi outside of the offers a lot as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be a couple of big pieces to watch. The other thing is, I feel like we could reintroduce ourselves, right? We introduced ourselves at the start of the stream. And we've got more people coming into chat. I'm Floofies.
Not really, Evan.
So we're your casters for at least this game and the next one, it looks like.
So sorry if, that's you don't like that.
We're in Canada.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I mean, I'm from here, so I'm not sorry. But
I feel bad being from North America, or being from the U.S., honestly.
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I understand. But hey,
We're not all like that.
it's true. We're not all like that. We were talking about the U.S. yesterday. I've been to the U.S. a lot. There's some beautiful parts of the United States. There really are, genuinely.
Mm-hmm. So map number 3, we got Ancient. Given what we saw from Novum on Mirage, I feel like they should have the upper hand on Ancient. It does play differently, even though they're both 4 square maps. Ancient comes down to there's a lot more instant smokes you have to know. For T side, you're going to be playing around that window position. You're going to be playing around mid and cat. For CT side, you have to play around getting cat. You're still getting cat control. Either way, you're still getting cat control. But the nice thing that you can do on CT side for Ancient, that you can't really do on on Mirage, is you can take a lot of space on CT side more easily, right? So if you go and you realize that there's nobody ramp on T side, you take that over. You go through cave, you realize there's nobody there, you take that over, and you crunch your way into mid. If you get into A site and you realize that no one's going A site, and that's the other thing, is you can hear footsteps going A main from Donut. So if you realize there's no one going A, you can rotate through Donut, get over towards B a lot faster. So I think the CT side statistically has had the advantage on Ancient. And so that's something I think we have to look for, especially now with the fact that the CT side is going to get more money.
Absolutely. The other thing too, we sort of talked about Ancient a little bit, is how, if you really start gaining momentum on Ancient, it's hard to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw how much that will help, last one on Inferno, how much Tsunami was really able to build off of their previous success. I have a feeling we're going to see a game similar to that. I don't think it's going to be trading back and forth. I really think that one team is just going to really just take the reins and just take control and just try and ride it to the end. But again, I don't know who that's going to be. Like, truly, I think both sides have a really legitimate chance at winning. It's just who is able to step up. Like, who is going to be the X factor? Like, is Kermie going to step up? Is Bones going to be that guy? It's really just going to come down to, I think, who's going to be, like, who's going to have that dog in them, Like, who's going to be that guy?
Well, I think going into this final map, I think one big emotional piece is Tsunami can feel really good about how they crushed it on T side. And I heard there was an interesting interview from Apex where they were talking about the finals of the major. Did you watch the finals?
Of the Austin major?
Yes.
I wasn't able to, unfortunately. I got scheduled at work during the final. I tuned in as much as I could, but I couldn't watch the entire thing, unfortunately.
So the first map went to Mongols, and it was not just a first map, it was a very stompy first map. So you saw Vitality starting to come back a little bit, but their hearts really weren't in it. And they interviewed Apex afterwards, and as that map was happening, it's like, forget about this map, guys. Let's focus on map number 3. Not even map number 2. It was, let's focus on the decider. They were so sure that they were going to win their own map pick that they didn't even need to talk about it. So I think that's something that Tsunami can think about, especially if what the voices in my head say are right, which is, all right, if Inferno was business as usual, if Inferno was as easy as it looked, then Tsunami might already be planning map 3.
Now, if you're on the other side of that coin with Novum, what do you need to do to sort of get back to where you were on Mirage? Because they had a lot of success. We saw, how successful they were, and, it was sort of the opposite of what we saw in Inferno, where they were just sort of letting Tsunami play the way that Novum wanted them to. They were just winning all these fights and just playing these traps. So what do you need to do to sort of get that back?
I think they need to play a little bit more loose. So the thing about Novum on Inferno is it felt like they were really rigid, and I mentioned it a few times, and I think that they need to play a stick and move sort of gameplay on their CT side, especially. Like that CT side was looking very like, all right, we've got our players here, they're not going to move. They need to play for information on CT side. They need to get a read fast and force Tsunami to not have that just utter steamroller of pushes that we just saw. It's not what I said. I just saw what the bottom third said. That's not what I said. Tsunami are not Vitality. Cajun is not Apex. Thank goodness for that. Although if he is, he has to shave his head because Apex just shaved his head. So, you know, Cajun, I hope you don't like your hair.
You heard it here first. Post.
Change the bottom third production.
Direct quote from Floopy. Tsunami.
No, that's not what I said. That is not what I said. Stop that.
Clip that. Someone clip that. Take the screenshot.
That's not what I
have
said.
The receipts. Man, I hate to see it. This is the first series of the day too. You're in for a long day today. Sunglasses made him upset, guys. Come on.
That's not what I said.
Now he's upset. I can't work with an upset caster. Come on.
See, the problem with the B stream,
Wait, what? Take Flight has been eliminated. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Take Flight has been eliminated. Unfortunate. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
Taking a flight back home.
Or they're staying for the big L.
Well, hopefully. Hopefully. Please don't leave yet.
So,
if anyone wants to tune into the main stream,
no,
but
stay
don't,
here.
yeah, no,
stay here.
or what we
stay
said,
here.
Keep this in the second monitor at all times, obviously, or on your phone, or your laptop.
Wait until I'm on the mainstream and then tune in there.
Or that too. But yes, obviously, B stream, better stream. But if you were inclined to watch
the voices
the A stream,
in my head.
If you were so inclined, Supernovas and Game Hunters going to map 3. So
the voices in my head that keep putting things like this. You see this? You see these lies? I never said this. You can't quote me on this. Someone's gonna clip this.
That's what we said. I told you someone's gonna go back and send this to you. Please send it to him on Twitter. Tag him on Twitter. Production does not lie.
This is a lie.
Production does not lie.
You can't put this.
Damn. You know what's bad when even prod is against you. It's bad.
See, you know what? The problem with the B stream is the fact that the St. Clair stream is also watching it.
Oh, true.
So I can't go back to my previous line of talking about USBs because that would be kind of inappropriate for a college stream. That would be perfectly reasonable for a frag stream, but maybe I can talk about USPs on the main stream. That's okay.
Well, we only have 6 viewers in the Saints Gaming chat, so if you were watching this
but someone could go
the
back
Saints
to the
Gaming
VOD.
chat,
Okay.
shout out to you. You are a real one.
Yeah. But again, that's the thing. If somebody is in the Saints Gaming stream and someone's like, I'm going to clip this idiot talking about USPs, then, you know, that would probably be bad for me. So I'm going to stop that for now. But I'm continuing to have my sunglasses on because production is trolling me.
Well, someone's saying it's to hide the smell of the new yart. Is that true? Is this true? You wouldn't do that to me, would you?
No,
Okay,
never.
Thank you.
Never.
I appreciate it.
I wouldn't even dream of it. All right. While we're waiting for map number 3, I do want to take a look. So we've been told about Take Flight. We've been told about Game Hunters versus Supernova Comets.
Update the bracket.
I figure let's go see what else is going on the bracket. Let's get the
Who
frag.
else was starting this morning? There were a couple other games that were going on.
There were a few. Might was playing. Let's just talk about everything. First off, there's an at everyone post in the frag Discord, which is about Little L. So that is going to be your side event to play in if you are interested in playing in side events.
Do.
Yeah, please play in the side events. Stick around, hang out.
Don't leave. If you get eliminated, don't leave right away. Please stay.
All right. So what else we got going on? So I'm going to scroll to the bottom here. Marsborn just beat Crodes for map number 2. In Control just beat For Fun. Oh, that one's actually kind of sad. I was kind of hoping to see for fun, make it a little bit further. Like, that roster is interesting.
Well, they had a really good game against Might yesterday.
Okay, so you didn't tell us who actually beat Take Flight. It was Zomblers.
Shout out to the Zomblers.
Yeah, Zomblers are looking pretty hot to trot as well. All right, so we're starting this one off with a knife round, which we haven't gotten to see as many knife rounds. So I'm, always excited to see those. But it looks like Tsunami are going to have their work cut out for them as Novum cut them up.
Tsunami getting the start on the CT side. You were talking about in that little break, how much you think the CT side sort of gets that advantage. So, the HUD just switched. Novum, is actually getting the start on the CT side. So the point I just had, just completely out of the window. The voices in my head say that T side is better anyway.
No, the voices in your head said that Tsunami are better on T side anyway.
Oh, well, there's a lot going on right
There's
now.
A lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on in your head. There's a lot going on in my head. Tsunami looking for mid pressure to start this one off, but Novum, they don't even care that the smoke is down. They're going to push right on out through it, and they're going to leave Stamina in a tough situation. Looks like he's up to the task at the very least, but Novum, they've sent 5 out through mid, and they've left the B-bomb site completely open. So Tsunami get the bomb site for free. They get the plant for free, and now we get awkward. Ooh. And Coolcoms, oh my goodness. Coolcoms, Miss Coolcoms, are you paying attention? The 3 headshots as the players start to filter on in through cave. It's all going to be up to Kermi, plinking away. Coolcoms looking for a 4th, not going to get it. Nade goes into position. Kermi going to just go for the defuse. He's got the kit, but he's not going to be allowed to. Caught as he's trying to walk on over. And a pistol round for Tsunami.
Disastrous for Novum there. I mean, you give up the site for free, you let Coolcoms just absolutely clip your entire team like that.
What are we doing here, Novum? Why did we send 5 on out through mid? They thought that they were going to brawl 5v5 in mid. Did they realize that they just played the knife round? That this was not... They had guns. This was not the knife round. They didn't have to send all 5 in mid. Novum just doing pure pack tactics. They're going to stack the A-bomb site this time around.
Steve Tsunami can really build off of that. That's the kind of round that builds confidence, especially early on, when you take advantage of another team's miscue and use it to your advantage. Coolcoms on a great start, absolutely earned the rifle in this round for Tsunami. Novum, once again, really stacked up. Tsunami, a lot of space. And look at this. We got the site completely open now. Novum just really hard committing to this site defense. Cajun, good start for him. Does get traded out.
Well, that's information
intel
for Tsunami.
gained, exactly.
So they're going to get the B site. Now they realize they have the B site for free. And even though that MAC-10 is going to fall into the hands of Kermi, and that's a kill for Novum, they're going to be completely locked out of this B bomb site. I guess the answer is just let's save. They're hanging out in the swamp. Maybe they'll look for another saving player. It's going to be Poseidon that's going to be put to task. Target-rich environment, only able to get to 1. That MAC-10 does come in clutch for Kermi. But now it's going to be up to Coolcoms. He's already been hot in the pistol round. 1 for 1 again. This is actually going a lot better for Novum than I was expecting when they coin flipped and went out A. Managing to burn down Tsunami to 2 players is actually really huge for your CT side. That's $150 per player that they get to take home, and this Galil. I feel like I'm a game show host. Here's $150 and this Galil. Would you like to see what's behind door number 2?
That was really good, man.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, Tsunami, though. They're looking good to start, but like you said, it was a lot better for Novum than I think it could have been. There was sort of an opportunity for Tsunami to really sort of take control there, but Novum not out of it yet. For sure, do have rifles online for this round here. It's just, I think the communication and the strategy just needs to be a little bit tighter. You're giving Tsunami way too much space to work with right now.
I want to go back to something we just saw. So Stamina waited for the molly to pop just behind the spammable wall over on Cat, and just instantly puts the smoke down and walks on it. And I think that that is a really great piece of knowing what kind of conditioning Novum are going to go for.
Fine, opening it up, and oh, look at this, Novum. 4 picks to start, all crashing down on Tsunami. It's all up to Cajun to try and salvage it. Not going to happen. Novum, get on the board. Good round for them. Cajun, though, does take one for the road, but...
Yeah, production, can you put a little circle around the double doors on Ancient that lead to B? Just open up the map and put a circle around those double doors just so that, you know, I know what I'm talking about occasionally. Okay, we can't open up the map and put a circle. But I thought production liked to draw on the map.
Yeah, the tech pod.
Okay. I do like that. Whose side are you on, man? Oh, okay. Alrighty, well, this time though, Tsunami gonna be caught with not a lot of primary weapons, and they are gonna get completely punished as a result. Bones is op, Vine's M4 proves to be their downfall.
Novum tie it back up. Bones online with the op now. See if Tsunami have any answer for that. It's gonna be tough for them. But for Novum now, this is really the time to sort of build up that momentum that you lost from that last one now. You know, your back's against the wall right now. This is the time, especially when Tsunami, you got 4 pistols on the board for them. Should be an easy round for Novum in theory. But we know Tsunami's able to do it. Poseidon didn't even buy. He's just got a knife.
Where did he drop his pistol?
Or that too. Could have just...
Wait, but you start with a Glock. You should have... Where's the Glock?
Don't need it, man.
Yes, you do.
He doesn't need it.
Yes, you do need it.
He's feeling that confident. But look at this. Vine just... Vine and Gibby just waiting for Tsunami to fall into this trap. And it is going to work stupendously. Novum with a 3rd round in a row. Now that wave starting to turn to Novum's side now.
Where did the pistol go? I'm kind of stunned.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. Dropped it. It's like I don't. Oh my gosh! It's just like don't need it. All right, but Tsunami going to be fully rearmed. See what they've got in store for us. It looks like they're going to lean heavily on B. Interestingly, I don't see a smoke put down for mid, but Tsunami have decided to stall out over there anyway. They're not. There's the smoke for the double doors on Novum's side, but they haven't thrown one for mid. But Tsunami aren't looking for any mid pressure. They're just fully invested on this B hit. And, I mean, admittedly, the op is here, so that feels very dangerous, but they don't know that. They're getting bottled up, too. All 5 are sitting over toward ramp. If this op connects, which it doesn't, it could spell a lot of danger. 55 seconds. Tsunami just looking to burst on out. Cajun going to be the first one up to bat. Good kill for himself. Stamina makes it a 2-for-1. And the bomb will be planted. Cajun just going to town here. Gibby holds court. 2 players into Temple for Novum. It's a 1 good shot for Gibby, or for Kermi, but it's not going to be enough. Stamina ends it with a double play.
If it's Kermi, even if it's Gibby, it doesn't matter. Tsunami is going to come away with that victory. You called it. Cajun was just going absolutely crazy in that one. I think I was wrong about my pre-match prediction about this being a very one-sided affair.
Well, we saw Mirage starting off in a Forced by Wars kind of way, where the rounds went back and forth. So I think that there's potential for one side to run away with it, but there's also potential for this to be very even. If this is just a 6-6, That's pretty fantastic. Spams, though, not going the way of Novum. You know what will is Tsunami just getting on site and record speed and knocking down 4. They're knocking on the door of the site, and Kermie just gets dropped.
How quick have these rounds been? I mean, that's 2 rounds in a row now where it just seems like it's over so quickly. It's like one side just completely dominating the other. Really, really been back and forth so far. Like, I don't even know if there really is sort of an advantage at this point.
It looks like Might have just been eliminated as well.
Oh my.
So, yeah, some crowd favorites, some possible favorites to actually win this. All losing out fairly early. This is day 2.
Lots of things happening at Fragadelphia, things that are really shaking up the bracket. But that's always the beauty of Clan.
Cajun on 1 HP, but he still gets his licks in. Nade goes in. No one connects with. Oh my gosh. Tsunami are playing this push and pull so fantastically well. Send one player in, they take damage, pull them out, send the next player in, get the kill. It's like getting trades, but without actually trading anything.
Yeah,
which is a great trade deal.
And Novum, like you said, like it's a good deal for Tsunami. And Novum just really hasn't had an answer for it because Tsunami, you can tell that their players are just so locked in right now. Like you look at, it's really just Poseidon who's having a quiet game right now. Cool Calm's leading the way. Cajun Stamina backing him up with 6. Novum having to take a timeout now. Tsunami's wave in this one has just been a little too overpowering. Good use of a timeout here. You don't want to let them get too much of a lead built up early.
Yeah, I'm definitely starting to get nervous for the Novum side because I do think that Ancient has become, especially with the extra money, Ancient is going to become really reliant on playing strong on that CT side. And Novum have just had a bunch of really bad reads. And even when the reads have gone well, even when they stacked the B bomb site, they still just weren't prepared when Tsunami did shove into them. And I don't know what the right answer is because you can't just say put more dudes on the site. It's
more than that. You got to win those 1v1s, which right now they really haven't been. I mean,
it's not even 1v1s.
It's just winning a gunfight, just a encounter. And I mean, you see, like, look at all that red in the kill feed now. Tsunami just rolling through Novum. I mean, I know Novum's only on pistols right now. They were able to steal a couple, but no rifles gained. Tsunami didn't plant. You know, I guess that's something to take away if you're Novum, but still, another dominant round for them. That's 4 in a row now. We're only 3 rounds away from the side switch.
Yeah, you gotta be feeling pretty nervous if you're Novum. Again, especially after Inferno went as T-sided as it did, and now this. Is Tsunami even foregoing the op? Poseidon's got plenty of cash in his pocket, and he's got the AK in hand. It's just like, we're rolling, keep rolling.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And right now,
a rolling stone gathers no moss, and Tsunami are looking pretty clean.
Man, I haven't heard that one in a long time.
Well, again, they're not in the right positions. Nate peeks on in the cave, but Cajun already there for him. Tsunami are just half a step ahead of Novum, and it feels like just every situation that they've been in Ancient. And I've been there before, right? It feels like you're firing on all cylinders, you're way ahead, and it feels amazing. So I think Tsunami are they've got the vibes going. It's a good trade though. You'll be able to get 1. But when you're staring down the barrel of elimination, you need more than that. 2 versus 3. Bomb down. No kits on the side of Novum, at least not in their hands. There might be some on site, but it's not going to matter because you're not making it past drop.
Drop. Defending the site with his life. Like you said, backs against the wall. It really breeds the best type of competition, right? When you have something to lose, that's when the best plays happen. Drop. Big play there. Huge round for Tsunami. Give them just a little bit more of a cushion now. Really, really impressed by how they responded after the first match.
Big same. And now we're back to pistols. Novum saving up for that last round of the halves. 2 rounds left. We do have the Force Buy, Gibby at least picking up the MP9. That nerfed MP9. I keep saying it's nerfed, and then I keep seeing people make it look like it's
I was
not.
gonna say it doesn't look like it really made that much of a difference, at least in the hands of a real shooter. I
mean,
guess you could
I guess
say.
jumping over boxes is the one where Valve were like, no, we destroyed jumping over boxes. We destroyed jumping around corners. At this point, why not just pick up the 5.7 because it seems to be doing better in this round than the MP9 did.
Bones and Nate still up for Novum. Stamina Cage and Poseidon for Tsunami. Poseidon's going to get the bomb down. Another round where Novum just looked completely lost. They lose the opening gunfight, and then, there's just not much left for them to do here. See if Nate maybe going to try and get a straggler or two here, but you got to think they have to at least go for it, because right now you can't really afford to let Tsunami take these rounds for free. You got to at least give it an attempt. Not going to be a good one, though, as Bones only left on 8 HP. Just going to elect to save the little amount that he can.
So, okay, now that he's in the tunnel, it's a different call-out, but I've heard that little bit that Stamina is now heading for, so as soon as he gets out of the tunnel, I've heard that little area called Shrek.
Oh, because it's a swamp, naturally.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I got to troll Bonamont once because I spent a bunch of time just talking about Shrek. Because
It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
I just heard that call out, and so he's like, "Yeah, it's a swamp." It does look like 4 to 8 for Supernova Comets, so they're having a little bit of a struggle on the final map versus Game Hunters.
Bit of a surprise, I think. They were coming in as sort of a highly seeded team. We expected to see them deep in the bracket, but it seems like they've been coming out cold.
Yeah, that's not going to feel good whatsoever. And you know what else isn't going to feel good is that start. The damage that's being done to Novum is pretty painful. 4 versus 4, but Bones still on that AWP. Nate on 20 HP. This is what I wanted to see a bit more from Novum. So the thing is, Tsunami have been denying them the possibility to crunch into mid by just going B. If you go B and someone tries to sneak out through Cheetah, you're just going to kill them. If you go A and someone sneaks out through Cheetah, or if you go mid and someone sneaks out through Cheetah, then you're going to be in trouble. But Tsunami are just everywhere that Novum want to be. They're not giving them a single opening. Again, Stamina popping out through Donut. There's a player red, easy kill, Bones down, and it's just going to be up to Vine. 1 versus 3. Does catch Stamina transitioning over to the B site. But this 1 versus 2 feels fairly cut and dried.
Fairly cut and dry. I also feel like Novum, really good chance for them, but you just feel like Tsunami just has that confidence. They're playing so well. You have to feel like this is a bit of a desperation play, and that's, like you said, not going to work out for Novum. There's Tsunami closing the half out with a dominant T side. 9-3 as we get to the switch. I think if Novum has any miracle left, you sort of have to tap into what worked for Tsunami there. Play aggressively, try and take as much space as you can, just try and throw Tsunami off a little bit, but it might already be too little too late.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the conversation of, are you saving strats for playoffs? Are you saving strats for quarterfinals? But you got to get there first. So I want to see a little bit more from Novum. I don't want to see them gone right off the bat here. But, everything after this is going to be playoffs. So we get to start in with the real exciting ones after this, which is fun. Poseidon taking some early hits off the bat. Ooh, Bones about to challenge and wins the fight versus Cajun. But he's still got more attention over towards this A-bomb site. He's going to stand up to the task, though. He might just open up this A-bomb site all on his own. It's just drop holding court by B. And Novum, everywhere they go, they are leaving bodies in their path. Coolcom's now 1 versus 5. Everybody here on the A-bomb site to fight him. They won't leave him an opening.
Bit of a disastrous pistol round for Tsunami there. You don't even get the bonus for killing anybody. All of Novum staying alive in that round. So you have to think that Novum can string together at least a couple to start this second half, which, like we saw on Inferno, Tsunami had that big lead, let Novum come back into it a little bit. Still were able to make it out, but the cushion isn't nearly as big as it was on Inferno.
It does look like Marsborn are also going to be joining us in the next stage of play.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Who did they take down?
Crodies.
Crodies, rip the Crodies.
All right, and Notorious were playing. How are Notorious doing? What happened to the Notorious game? Wait, that's over here. We're just getting all of the extra info. Notorious are currently 1-1 versus Rain Above, and it looks like they're about to win map number 3. It's 11-3.
Congratulations, Notorious.
So getting all the
they
updates.
make it there.
What happened?
Well,
oh.
oh.
Fun. Well, this is upgraded pistol force by Tsunami. They do manage to catch Nate at the very least. So that's a weapon that's on the ground that could be picked up and brought to bear here, but doesn't look like it's going to have too much opportunities. And Novum have hit a bomb site for the second time in a row successfully.
Not much really for Tsunami to do except try and find a straggler. Maybe steal a rifle to save, but like we had sort of predicted, Novum stringing together a couple, looking a little better out of the half. Look like they're playing a little bit more like a unit, bit of a stronger play calls, a bit more coherent. We'll see if they can really take advantage of that. But Tsunami, we're just waiting for them to get full buys online here. Oh, there's a nice pick from Stamina. Does get traded out immediately. No chance to steal. Novum 4 rounds away, though. We don't want to... The comeback might be starting, but they still got a long way to go.
Yes, 4 more rounds separating these two teams means that at the very least they should get this one, right? Tsunami are going to be stuck on pistols. They did go for the force, so they are going to be stuck with those 5.7s. Likely drop the only one to survive, the only one that's going to have armor. And so these AKs, I mean, if Novum hit A another time in a row, that would actually be kind of funny.
Doesn't look like it, but you never know, I guess.
Yeah, this round's going to be light on the util, so no elbow smoke, and Gibby just with a shooting gallery. Challenged by a few too many pistols and overwhelmed. Though, Kermie going to recover. These pistols, not a whole lot of work that they're going to be able to get done here. Nate just flicks on over to the player out through Donut. Cajun going to fall, and it's just up to Stamina. 1 versus 4. I mean, 5.7 can do that, but I don't think it's likely.
Well, you were right. It was not likely. Kermie just waiting out Stamina. Now we finally have rifles online for Tsunami. Give them a little bit of a chance to potentially get back into it. Been a quiet game for Poseidon, though. Only 3 and 9 for him. They're really calling his name a lot the first 2 rounds, so a little quiet for him. We'll see if Tsunami can really tap back in. First big round of the second half now. More util going out through mid. Tsunami like a bit more lax, sending more around B. Poseidon the only defender of A. But Novum sort of playing pace, slowing it down just a little bit, trying to find those cracks in the defense, waiting for those smokes to clear.
Yeah, this is the round where you really have to be careful if you're Novum, because even though you've built up the money, if Tsunami get any sort of a foothold, they're just going to end the game. It's 9 rounds, so double digits is where they're going to go next. And you know, this is not MR15. Double digits is enough to be afraid. Be very afraid. They've already found their first. It's Mr. Cool Comms with the opening. Does sound like Comets have just been eliminated by Game Hunters, so they're not even going to be making it with us to the playoff stage. But this one looking like a B hit, and